Hello.
Hello.
How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm feeling good.
It's a
It's a
little
hint.
hint to
It's
this
a hint.
week's episode.
I'm Erin.
I'm Nicole. This is Dude. That's fucked up.
Yeah. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the pod, dudes.
Yeah, we got a fun one for you today.
Oh my gosh.
It's really, really fucked up, and you might be shocked.
It was crazy. I didn't know anything about any of this. So,
Me neither.
I mean, I knew some of the people that we're going to mention, not really focus on today, but I knew they had problems with substance abuse and things, but I didn't know the driving force behind some of it, or
yeah,
the
impetus for
the impetus, or the enabler.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We'll get to that in a second. But
Yeah.
Oh my God, you guys, the meetup is tomorrow.
Oh my god, it's just so crazy.
It's so crazy. We were so excited to meet some of y'all in LA tomorrow.
Have a bev.
Have a bev, chill, talk.
Yeah. If you guys aren't in the Facebook group, or maybe you're just catching up, or you're listening to this episode randomly, if you're in the Los Angeles area, come join us.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait for when we're on the other side of the meetup and we get to talk about how fun it was.
Yeah.
Because I'm a little nervous.
Yeah. We also, well, this is not actually Wednesday that we're recording this, obviously. It's currently Sunday. And I'm not in LA just yet, but for all intents and purposes, we're saying tomorrow's the meetup.
Yeah.
Because that's when we're putting out this episode. But I'm excited to get to LA and see Nicole in person. I haven't seen you in
Months.
a while in
Yeah.
person. So, and we're going to record an episode while I'm there. So that'll be really fun.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm very excited.
It's an exciting time.
We need to pick a topic for that, too.
I think I got one.
So excited.
Yeah.
Any other business?
Any other? I don't think so. Shirts are available. I can ship them out same day when you place an order. I now have the ability to just pop it in the mail that day. So, yeah.
It was a joke that remember we made a note about how we're gonna wear it all the time, but we're gonna have to wash it and stuff. And I feel like that was a joke, except I've definitely worn mine 3 times without washing it.
How else are you gonna get it nice and soft like you want it? Got to break it in.
Mostly it's been around the house, but still.
Yeah, but still. Also, I rarely wash clothes, new clothes, before I wear them. Is that weird?
I wash mine because sometimes you don't know, they might be coming from some weird sweatshop somewhere. Hopefully they're not, but I don't know if it's there's bugs on it. I don't know. Or if they treat it with something that's gonna make you rashy. You know, if it's a harsh chemical.
Maybe. I just really, I get so excited when I get new clothes that I'm I gotta wear this now.
Do you wash swimsuits after you buy them though?
Oh, I just wash the crotch area. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Just the crotch and butt area.
You peel off the little sticky protector thing, and then you just wash the crotch, and then yeah.
Can we be real? Real talk. Who's
real
that
talk.
protecting?
I mean,
it's not even as thick as a panty liner. It's
God, I really hope nobody's out there trying on bathing suits without their chonies on, you know?
Sans chonies.
Sans chonies, yeah. That's a scary thought.
Oh,
but if you are, cool.
Ew. No, if you are, fuck you.
Take
That's
some
gross.
penicillin.
And then I have to rip off that sticker with my hand, and your chocha touched it.
I really hope there's no discharge on those things. Come on, man.
This bathing suit's literally been tainted.
You put your taint on it. Physically, emotionally.
You've emotionally tainted something. What do you mean? I mean, it feels like you stuck your taint on my heart and my soul.
Yeah, that's rude. Don't do that. We live in a civilized society, guys. But they have to put that fucking thing on there because there's people in the world that will not hesitate to
for sure.
Go raw dog it and put that fucking bathing suit on without their chonies on.
Raw dog it. And it's like, I feel like it's like one thing if a dude, like dudes were doing that, but like ladies have
still
fluids.
Gross.
Yeah, but ladies have like fluids, and it's like
dudes have ball sweat.
Yeah.
And just like free flowing pubes, like I don't know.
So do I.
Yeah, that's true. We all do.
Yeah.
Except if you don't.
Except if you're bald down there.
Except if you've gotten electrolysis on your cooter.
Which
or a Brazilian, whatever.
Yeah,
whatever
that's
floats
fine.
your boat.
I don't have the time or money to do that, so.
Me neither. Nor the pain tolerance.
Yeah, so I'm pulling the billy goat.
Yeah. Billy Goat Bush. Throwback.
Yeah, we've had so many throwbacks already. Callbacks. Callbacks.
Callbacks.
Yeah,
Yeah. I need to go back and listen to old episodes. Not to be a narcissist, but to make sure that I'm not like retelling the same stories because you do that in like groups of friends, like where you're like everybody kind of tells the same story over and over. Like if there's one person that hasn't heard it and you're like, oh, let me tell you this. And everybody's like, shut the fuck up. I don't know.
Well, I would tell you if we've already talked about it, if I remembered.
Yeah, if I remembered something, but I don't. So that's why I need to go back and listen. That's what I'm saying. Anything fucked up happen?
Yeah, I have. Okay, I feel really bad because I was talking to my mom last night and she went to her like girlfriends growing up, like when they were tiny kids. It was her mom's birthday, one of her friends' birthdays. One of her friends' mom's birthdays. So she went to like a party yesterday and she saw her old friends and she was just like, oh, it was so fun, but like sad because her mom passed away a few years ago. And so I was like, oh yeah, but I'm sure it was nice to see everyone and like spend time. She's like, yeah. And then she was like, oh, and also, Marty, Kira's husband, got her a present for her birthday to go to see a psychic. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, what does she feel about this? I had to, like, wait it out for a second. And then she's like, yeah. And it wasn't one of those, like, dumb ones. It's, like, one of the good ones because they work with the police and stuff. And I was like, oh,
yeah, no.
I know. And I was like, oh, but still a fake one. Like... And she's like, what? And I was like, those people aren't real. And she's like, oh, thanks for being mean about something that I thought was a happy thing. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
And then she like started talking about something else. And then I was like, okay, wait. Like later in the conversation, I was like, I feel like I just like shat all over your fun thing. Go on, tell me about it. And she's like, she was like, oh, Nicole, someday I'll be gone. And you'll want to talk to me and, someone like that might help you. And I was like, no. They wouldn't help me.
Oh, no.
And then I just felt so bad I made it worse. And then I think it's fine. I just don't believe in any of that.
I don't either. I don't fault anybody for, like, believing in it. I personally don't. Maybe there's some validity, but for the most part, a lot of those people are just really good at reading situations and learning how to, capitalize on people's weaknesses.
And it's like, oh, they work with the police, and it's like I don't think the police treat them as like actual. Sometimes they bring up things that the police haven't thought about, or like, but it's just random.
Also, that's what they're saying. Like, I highly doubt if you went to the police department and you were like, so your resident psychic, they'd be like, oh, no, we don't. Yeah. There's a person that likes to email us a lot.
We humor
theories.
her. Yeah.
So.
I know. So, I just felt bad. Sorry, Mom. But you do you. If you enjoy it, you do
and
you.
And also, if it helps you, like if going to see a psychic, it helps you with like whatever you're going through, whether it's like a breakup or the passing of a loved one or whatever, like that's that's fine. Like if that's something that helps you get over or, kind of eases pain a little bit, then
Yeah.
I don't think there's a problem with it. But
like acknowledge that it's entertainment, because
yeah.
otherwise, like all the murders would be solved, and all like it sucks because on one hand it's like entertainment, and sure, if you're like maybe looking for a new career or like you like kind of want to go for fun, I think that could be fun. But I just don't like how they take advantage of people where it's like, oh, my mom passed away and I've just been thinking about, it's like, oh, she's telling me right now that she loves you, and it's like, fuck off. Like, that's such garbage.
Yeah.
It's just sad that people take advantage of that shit.
Yeah.
Anywho, I'll cut this all out.
Some people, I don't have anything fucked up myself. I don't know. I'm just real excited to come to California.
Yeah.
Or see everybody at the hangout.
Yeah.
Or at the get together.
What was going to be your segue? My
segue is, some people just need a little extra help. They need a little something extra to get them over the hump.
Uh-huh.
They might need a little cocktail to get over nerves. They might need a little, vitamin B to like get their energy up. And some people understand this really well, not just psychics either. Like doctors might get this. Like today you could go to the doctor and get a vitamin B injection if you want to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in your butt.
You could just ask for one and they'll give it to you? Oh.
Mm-hmm. Some doctors do. Or you can, there's like companies out there that bring you IVs, like when you're in Vegas and partying.
Yeah.
And you're super hungover the next day and you need to be rehydrated.
Replenished.
Get some electrolytes and vitamins into your system.
Yeah.
There's like companies that will come to you and inject you. What I'm saying is sometimes you just need a little help.
Yeah.
And back in the 50s and 60s and 70s even, there was a doctor who did just that for a lot of high-profile people. Mm. His name is Dr. Feelgood, a.k.a. Miracle Max, a.k.a. Max Jacobson.
Yeah. It's not... I don't actually... Okay, I wrote in our notes that it's not the Aretha Franklin song, but here, let me sing it for you.
Okay.
No, I don't want to.
And then I wrote in our notes it's not the Motley Crue song, but here, let me sing it to you.
Are you gonna? I don't know that song.
He's the one they call Dr. Feelgood. He's the one that make you feel all right. You know that song?
No, I don't know that song, but I love Motley Crue.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Because I like Shout at the Devil.
Yeah, that's a good one. But Dr. Feelgood is like one of like their very famous songs.
Well, that probably is about this guy, right? Or like
no, it's just about a drug dealer.
Oh, okay. I don't. The Aretha Franklin song's more about like a man that makes her feel good, and she calls him Dr. Feelgood in the morning.
Ooh, yes. So good. Well, it's not that.
I'm gonna kill myself now. Okay, bye.
No, you're beautiful. It's great. You're doing great, sweetie.
I did it kind of weird on purpose so I wouldn't hate myself, but now I hate myself more.
You're fine. You shouldn't. Don't worry. Okay. It's all good.
Okay.
But yeah, that we're not talking about
those
dudes in the song. Either song. This is a real person who is an actual doctor.
Yeah.
And yeah, he treated some very famous people.
Like super high profile.
Like through like a pretty good chunk of time. Some of his, and he was located in the Upper West Side of Manhattan. So
yeah,
there was lots of like fancy people that he was treating, and he was treating his patients basically with meth.
Yeah.
Like before we knew what meth was, like he was injecting people with it.
Yeah. Was it on? I thought it was on the Upper East, but I wrote Upper West, so I don't know. Anyway.
It was in Manhattan.
It was in Manhattan.
It was fancy.
And he was like, and it was pretty much just like, yeah, come by whenever and let me know your ailments. And I have a solution for you. It's basically one size fits all. And you know why it works? 'Cause meth.
Yeah, well, he didn't tell people it was meth. He'd just say it was like vitamins and little pep like
peptides. I don't know.
Little squirt to get you all pepped up. I don't know. But he'd just basically like stick a needle in people's butts and they'd get all riled up.
Yeah.
So some of his patients were Marilyn Monroe, Tennessee Williams, Bobby Fischer. That's Carrie Fisher's dad.
Yeah. Married to Debbie Reynolds and Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah, he was doing things.
Yeah.
Humphrey Bogart, Judy Garland, Truman Capote, Mickey Mantle, and Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And many more.
Many more. Many, many more.
And I feel like it wasn't that weird at this time because there's a story there. So in the series Mad Men on AMC that ended a couple of years ago, there was a character for a while that like referenced this doctor.
Yeah.
Did you see that? I like read an article.
I need to watch it.
Yeah, Harry Hamlin, I think, is the actor that played this doctor on the series. And he was like, I read like an interview with him and he was like, it's so weird because actually my dad worked for NASA and during this time, and they were encouraging their employees to take these shots because they were trying to figure out how to get a man on the moon. And like everybody was just exhausted and run down. And then, so the dad was getting those shots and then the mom started getting them too. And he even remembered helping his mom like give her shot of basically meth at this time because it was like just a thing that people were doing. It's crazy.
Holy shit. It's so crazy. It was, okay, amphetamines were super prevalent at this time just in general, like around the world. Like we didn't know that it was speed. We didn't know, and then which also like becomes meth if you add a couple more things to it.
Yeah.
But it's all the same basically. Yeah. And we don't, back then there was not the same stigma around it as obviously there is now. So Max Jacobson, this doctor, he was born in like I think he was born in 1900, like not just the 1900s. Like he was born in 1900. Yeah. And I think he was German and had to escape Nazi Germany because he was Jewish. Mm-hmm. And he left Germany in like 1936. He was already a doctor at this time, and he was like he had his own practice and stuff, but that doesn't save you from Nazis.
No.
So he had to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah. I think too, he was like interested in multiple sclerosis at the time, but eventually kind of found his niche, which led to like what he ultimately was creating and administering as treatment. He was like kind of focused on booster shots, which I don't think I ever realized what these were, but they're like, you get your immunization when you're a kid, and like into your early adolescence. Booster shots you get, I probably had them at some point in my 20s, but it's basically like a little
you like re-up on them because you get them when you're like an infant or toddler or whatever, and then you like re-up on your boosters
as
like
a teen, I guess.
I think maybe, like what would like a booster shot be? Like rubella, mumps, like that kind of stuff.
I think so.
Those kind of vaccinations.
Yeah. Maybe polio or something.
Polio,
Yeah, and it's just like a little tiny. It's like a little tiny bit more of the immunization that you got originally to like kind of engage your
antibodies or whatever.
Yeah, just to make sure you're like. Your body is trained to fight whatever the disease
Interesting.
is.
Yeah. I just got my, I re-upped on my, what's the one for in case you step on a nail?
Tetanus.
I hadn't had a tetanus shot in forever, so I did that like a couple of years ago.
When I said tetanus, I was like, is it tetanus or Tetris?
Not Tetris.
No,
not your Tetris shot.
I had a little bit of an internal panic. I was like, oh, you idiot.
We can always edit it out if you ever get anything really wrong.
And we caught it.
Yeah. He was interested in actual science and he was a real doctor. He wasn't completely a quack yet.
Yeah. But he was like also wacky.
He was a little wacky.
Yeah.
Also at this time, like medicine was kind of like still not the most there was a lot of experimentation going on still at this time. He was a little wacky, but he I think he had like a pretty good bedside manner is what it sounds like to me. Like where he would like listen really well to people and like gain their trust and be like, you need this. Let me just give you this thing. This is like what I've give to everybody. Helps pretty much everybody I've worked with. He has like a good rapport with his patients. Sounds like.
Yeah, almost like a salesmanship even. Because if it was like, because he was treating everyone essentially with the same concoction.
Sort of.
Yeah, I guess there was little changes here or there. Some people would get sent home with certain things or whatever.
So I read a I can't remember which article it was. I've read so many different ones. I have like 500 tabs open on this guy right now.
Yeah.
But I read something where he would just take his medicine bag and dump it upside down on his desk, and he'd like sort through it, and he'd have all these like vials of like whatever, and he'd just like mix it up and make like a little like bespoke kind of treatment for whoever. But it was just all meth.
Yeah.
It was mostly meth. And what he'd do too is he got to the point eventually, like in his career, where people trusted him so much, that he would literally just put a vial of meth in the mail with a couple of disposable syringes and send them to his patients. So insane.
Oh,
crazy.
My God. Also, like, I guess it does seem totally random. Like, you said he kind of, like, dumped his bag upside down. All of those vials had, like, totally weird shit in them. Like, some things were, like, legit, like, vitamins. Like, it was, like, concentrated vitamins and, like, steroids and stuff. But then he just had, like, animal placenta and bone marrow in there, too, and was just, like, a little dab of this, a little dab of that, just, like, making a little...
Yeah, little concoction, little cocktail.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
But then it's like, okay, cool, whatever you put in it, it's fine. But then you add meth, and it's like, okay, well, you didn't even need those other things in here, because once meth's in there, it's like taken over.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That's the main ingredient.
Yeah. It's just real methy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, he was just getting kind of weird.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, but people loved it. It was definitely effective.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean...
People were like, I'm so tired. No, boing. I'm not. I feel great. I can lift this car up over my head if I want to.
Oh, my God. What was in that butt shot you gave me?
Yeah.
I can't stop picking at my face. Like... I didn't sleep last night, but I counted every freckle on my legs. Like, oh my God.
I haven't slept in 72 hours, but I just wrote the next great American novel. Truman Capote.
Yeah, there you go. I like that. Yeah. Also, I thought was funny that someone mentioned, I don't know if this is true or not, but he'd like do some like witch doctory stuff. Like he'd like put everything in a beaker and boil it sometimes, or he'd like put everything in a vial and like wave a magnet over it. Like
what the fuck?
He'd sage it, and then he'd be like, this'll solve all your problems. No, I don't know if he did that, but he did the magnet thing and he boiled it sometimes. Which when you boil meth, isn't that how it turns into like a solid or something?
Crystal meth.
Oh my God, he was like...
This was like the OG Breaking Bad. Like he had magnets, and he was making actual crystal meth.
Oh my God, he is the pioneer of meth.
Yeah. So he started to have like this reputation grow around him. Like all these famous people were like, holy shit, I have never felt better / worse in my life. And
I've never felt better and looked worse in my life.
Yeah. And so he starts getting this like real kind of cult following of like famous like upper class clientele. He eventually got in touch with, let's see, what was his name? He was the White House photographer,
Mark
Mark Shaw.
Yeah.
So therefore, at the time, because he got acquainted with Mark Shaw, who was the White House photographer, he eventually started to treat JFK.
Oh, also, Dr. Feelgood was treating JFK's friend Chuck Spaulding, who was like a New York businessman. So there was like multiple people.
A lot of connections.
Yeah, so JFK was getting recos left and right to see this dude.
Yeah. Well, and that was because JFK was actually really, really ill. Like, he was he had a lot of problems, a lot of health problems. Like, you thought Donald Trump's health assessment was sketchy. If only we had known how bad JFK's, like, health was back then. All this came out later on, like, after he'd passed away. Like, all of this was, like, declassified. Yeah. JFK was very, very ill. He had a host of issues. He had Addison's disease, which is a disorder in which the adrenal gland doesn't produce enough hormones, and that results in making you really fucking tired, nauseated, and dizzy. And so when he was diagnosed around this time is when they found, like, not a cure but a treatment for it, because this was like kind of a serious disease before they figured out what it was. So right around the time he was diagnosed, they had a treatment. So he had to have lots of injections of cortisol. Cortisol is like what the treatment is for Addison's. So he also had colitis, which is a major intestinal disease. So on top of, like, having his adrenal glands make him really nauseated and feel like shit, he also had, like, diarrhea all the time.
I was just gonna say
diarrhea and constipation.
Oh my god, pick one. You know,
you can't with colitis.
Oh god, that's what makes me really feel for people, because it's hard going back and forth through those things. If it's one or the other,
sucks.
At least you can, like, prepare for it and, like, do the thing you need to do to, like, deal with it. But it's like, if you wake up one day and you don't know if it's constipation or diarrhea, that's a rough life.
It's so rough. It's
so uncomfortable.
I mean, those two things alone, that's a rough deal.
Yeah. But it gets worse.
It gets worse. He also was probably, like, had some hella fucking STDs.
He did, not probably.
Yeah, he did.
He had some real, they called it VD back then, you guys, and he had it.
I think, what was it, during the Bay of Pigs?
Yeah.
He was like, had like 105-degree fever.
Yeah.
And he had a, quote, burning sensation and pus.
Yeah.
From, you can guess from where.
Pee-pee hole.
Pee-pee hole. But
it taint his butt, and it taint his taint. It's his pee-pee hole.
Yeah, the pee hole was bleh. So he had to have, like, a massive injection.
A barfy pee hole.
Ugh. That might be the worst thing I've ever heard. Ugh. Well, I mean, it makes it, okay, well, anyway. So because of this, he had to have a massive dose of antibiotics. He was in bad shape during the Bay of Pigs. Woof. He also had constant back pain. Yeah. Major back pain. Like, very, very painful. Could hardly walk around sometimes. He had a herniated disc removed in the 40s. And then he underwent a spinal fusion surgery in 1957.
That's crazy. If you think about, like, how far we've come just, like, surgically, and how even now, like, it's even today, getting back surgery is really dangerous, because, like, one wrong move and you could be a quadriplegic or a paraplegic, or, like, you know, something
or just severely, like, incapacitated, like, with pain for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it
like,
can make things worse.
Irreversible. Yeah, exactly.
But he did it then, and it was successful. I mean, in a way, I guess.
Yeah, he also almost died from a back surgery. I think it was in 1954. That was separate. And he wrote about it in his book, Profiles in Courage. So it's very well documented that he had major, major back problems.
Yeah.
And one of the craziest things I read while researching this was related to his back issues. So since his back was so fucked up, he constantly wore a back brace.
Yeah.
And an article in the Atlantic titled "The Medical Ordeals of JFK" from a few years ago says that, quote, on November 22nd, 1963, Kennedy was, as always, wearing a corset-like back brace as he rode through Dallas. Oswald's first bullet struck him in the back of the neck. Were it not for the back brace which held him erect, the second fatal shot to the head might not have found its mark.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's kind of some speculation, but I don't know. That's pretty wild.
Man, I don't know. High school is hard. I was fat and you wore that back brace. But I thought we had fun.
Romeo and Michelle.
Yeah, that's not an exact quote, but you know.
No.
I'm just thinking of it, but yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty much.
He was back brace boy.
So fucked up.
Do you think, I don't know who was his vice president? They were sworn in.
LBJ.
Johnson? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think he ever put magnets on his back?
Probably. LBJ was a dick. Also, I read this thing about LBJ one time that says he had a huge dick. And he also is like super vulgar, like in the White House. So he was always talking about his dick, and he was always like saying fuck, shit, fart, pussy, whatever, all the time. He was just disgusting. He was just like uncouth.
He sounds cool.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, man.
Anyway.
He had a big dick. That's weird.
Yeah, I didn't.
Why do people know that? I guess he's telling people.
I think people saw it and were like, whoa.
I feel like dudes with big dicks whip him out a lot. So he probably was like.
He probably did, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
He's probably like, can you hand me that ruler? And then like a lady goes over and it's his dick. And
like flopped on the Oval Office, on the Resolute desk. Yeah. Oh my God.
And he's like,
but wouldn't stand for it today.
That's assault, brother.
That's assault, yeah. Ay. Moving on with JFK. This is not about LBJ's dick, despite what you might think.
Okay, but then I wrote, remember Rosemary Kennedy, R.I.P.
Oh, dude, this family.
Remember Rosemary Kennedy? She sure doesn't.
Oh,
that's a lobotomy joke.
That's so fucked up. Poor Rose.
She's dead. It's fine.
Rosemary.
Okay.
Yeah, that whole the Kennedys, man, they had a really.
That's what happens when you're like Irish Catholic and you have 20,000 kids. They just get worse. It's like
it's true.
Their health problems just get worse and worse down the line because your eggs are getting older and
it's a lot, man.
That uterus is really like worn in.
Yeah.
It's like it's not producing the best quality. I don't know.
That's probably not how it works, but there's just a lot of problems.
Yeah. I mean, lobotomies will do that to you.
Yeah. Or holding in your child for 2 hours and depriving it of oxygen.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, on top of all his health issues, he was also just like exhausted from the duties of being the president, and it's a lot of stress.
Yeah.
Or even before then, just like running for president, like running.
Yeah.
Is exhausting.
That's when he met Dr. Jacobson, right? It was like during the campaign. He was just like, super exhausted, super run down. And and like his friend Shaw and his friend the other guy,
Chuck Spaulding and Mark Shaw.
Yeah, they were like, "Hey, this guy." So Dr. Jacobson finally paid a visit to Kennedy.
Yeah. So they talked him into seeing Dr. Jacobson, and Dr. Jacobson, he diagnosed Kennedy with stress and shot him up with meth, basically. He also gave him a bottle of vitamin drops, little pet pills.
Little party favor?
Yeah. And I guess they didn't know if there was, I think it was just like speed. Just run-of-the-mill speed, like,
Yeah.
just regular old amphetamines.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was running the whole campaign, stressed out, and this was like doing it for him.
Yeah.
Jackie even got in on it.
Yeah. It was a little bit later. I think that was it until he was elected.
Yeah.
Because then they didn't call on Dr. Jacobson until Jackie wasn't feeling very good after having given birth to John.
Oh.
And she had like postpartum depression, and they were on vacation down in Miami. And so they're like, let's call this doctor and get him down here. And he was like, oh, you're depressed. Here, have this shot. And then it was like a house call. And then it was kind of like they were both super like into it after that.
Yeah. And I mean, already before JFK even saw Dr. Jacobson, he was already on so many drugs.
Oh.
Let me just list off, like, not just drugs, but like all the medication he was on.
Yeah.
So he was injected with and ingested corticosteroids for his adrenal insufficiency, procaine shots and ultrasound treatments and hot packs for his back.
Oh my God.
Lomotil, Metamucil, paregoric, phenobarbital, testosterone, and trazotine to control his diarrhea, abdominal discomfort, and weight loss. Penicillin and other antibiotics for his urinary tract infections, aka his VD, and an abscess. So, like, I think like a major toothache, I'm assuming.
Oh.
And Bobby Kennedy famously said about his brother, "If a mosquito bites my brother, the mosquito dies." That's pretty funny.
That's how gross and infected and medicated he was.
He was like pickled. It's like, so I had no idea about all of this. Had no clue.
God, it's almost like it makes me respect the man even more.
Hell yeah, dude.
Because it's like, dude, that guy was fucked up.
Yeah.
And he still was like making big changes and like
giving these unbelievable speeches and just being generally like intelligent and inspiring all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's insane. It's
also scary because of the
it's very
part.
Scary.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about some of the specific incidents that it started to just spiral out of control, basically. His addiction to the shots that Dr. Jacobson was giving to him.
Yeah.
And it became so frequent that he like needed these injections, quote unquote needed, that they had to develop a code name for Dr. Jacobson.
Yeah. Mrs. Dunn.
It's very interesting.
It's like Mrs. Doubtfire.
It's like Mrs. Dunzo.
Yeah, that's weird. Because it's like they had, when they wanted to call him or whatever, it's like, oh, can you get Mrs. Dunn on the line? Because it was, you know, like secretive. Probably, because also people were like, once people found out that this was happening, people did not think it was a good idea, but he's the president. And as we know, the president can kind of get away with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So.
And also, like, at the time, like, they didn't have any proof to dispute, like, whatever his concoction was. I think at one point...
No, but they thought he was a quack.
They thought he was a quack. The Secret Service didn't like him. Bobby Kennedy didn't like him. Like, there's a lot of people were, like, not stoked about his presence in the White House. Like, he was, like, pretty ingrained in the day-to-day at the White House.
Yeah.
He even accompanied the president to the 1961 Vienna summit, which is where Kennedy had this huge meeting with the leader of the Soviet Union at the time, Khrushchev. Like, this is like a big fucking deal, like big meeting where we needed to be very careful, and like this was a time where nuclear war was like almost imminent. Like we were in a very bad place with the Soviet Union.
Yeah. And the reason is I feel like the reason it sounds like a good reason, I guess, but it's also silly because it's like his back was bothering him so much that he was like walking around on crutches in the White House, and he didn't want to appear weak to this man, which is like so silly, but whatever. I don't know.
It makes some sense.
It makes sense, but it's like, that's I guess now that we know what it is, I guess back then if you didn't know that it was meth or like, they didn't know if it was like super hardcore, it's like, okay, fine, yeah, whatever you need to like get through the meeting, but now it's like such a silly reason to do that.
Yeah. So yeah, his back was super fucked up, so that's why he had Dr. Jacobson accompany him.
Yeah.
So yeah, he like has this meeting with Khrushchev, and the meeting scheduled. He's anticipating him coming, and JFK was like, "All right, shoot me up with the vitamins or whatever."
Yeah.
AKA the meth, and Dr. Jacobson shoots him up, and then Khrushchev is late, so the effects wear off. So he's like, "All right, I need another hit," and he does. He gives it to him.
Oh.
And then then Khrushchev is there, and they're like doing their meeting. In the middle of that meeting, JFK like pops out of the meeting and is like, "I need another hit. I'm fading." God. And Dr. Max is like, Dr. Jacobson's like, I don't know. I shouldn't do this. I can't let you have a serious overdose. But he does it anyway.
Oh my God.
He gave him like 3 doses of fucking meth.
Oh my God.
To get through this incredibly sensitive high-level meeting.
What was that meeting like? Like JFK must have just been like, like, well, that's the thing. Crazy.
Like the potential side effects of the drug are hyperactivity, impaired judgment, nervousness, and wild mood swings. Oh my God. Like anything could have happened.
Dr. Jacobson, I need another hit.
I need some meth.
Dr. Jacobson, I need your Vitameths. Give them to me. Don't tell Jackie.
But then Jackie ended up being stoked.
And Jackie's like, but then
Mr. Jacobson, I need a hit of meth. I don't know how the fuck her accent is insane. I don't even know. Like, have you ever seen the movie Jackie with Natalie Portman?
No, she has the accent.
It's incredible, yeah.
And it's a good version of the accent, or
she's
it's
like
bad?
Yeah, because she's like has this like breathy, like very New England weird accent. It is incredible. Mr. Jacobson. I'd like a hit of meth. I don't even know. I don't know. Oh, Jesus.
I like your version.
I don't. It's not a version. It's a just awful voice. But yeah, Natalie Portman, what an actress of our time. She really nails it. Let's see. Oh yeah, so he's just like doing all this crazy shit. Like I don't
super fucking high.
I don't understand how, like you're saying, like I do kind of have, like, I've always thought JFK was one of our greatest presidents. Obviously, he accomplished so much and was a great orator and intelligent and a statesman and whatever. Mm-hmm. And now learning all of this, I'm just like, I can't believe a person so impaired and in so much pain, like, accomplished the things that he did.
Yeah.
And on so many drugs. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's mind-boggling, blah, blah, blah. Another thing that I read, before he was elected president, it was the night of the first Kennedy-Nixon debate when they're all campaigning. And this is like early in his like meeting with Dr. Jacobson. His throat hurt, like he was exhausted, super fatigued. And just a couple hours before he took the stage, he had Dr. Jacobson inject him before he like did the debate into the fucking throat. Like straight into the voice box. I don't know if that's true.
Shoot it into my voice box, Dr. Jacobson.
Dr. Jacobson. I can now speak clearer.
I want the American people to hear me.
So basically, he was on stage with Nixon, high as fuck, through his throat. I don't know.
All like...
His Adam's apple is just like... La, 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 la.
His Adam's apple's all fucking methed out.
I don't know.
Oh my god.
What a time. So yeah.
I want to see, like, I want to watch footage from that debate. Like, people on meth are crazy. I go to my friend's house once a week and we have practice, and she has crazy drug neighbors living next to her. And there was a man washing his feet one day in this, like, dirty water, picking at his... He had picked all over his legs, and he was out there for, like, 3 hours just picking and scrubbing.
Well, here's the thing about modern day meth is that it's not clean like it was then. Like there's
or like
a lot
I guess
of stuff.
Doctors could get clean meth technically, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like it's whatever
like, what regular
you make meth
people
with
do
now.
It's garbage.
What you make meth with, what you make meth with now is like over the counter fucking shit.
Yeah.
And Sudafed and all that. Like it's
gross.
It's not the same.
Ew.
It's not the same as it was then.
I'm not doing that fucking low end meth, okay?
Yeah, only high end meth.
I want the bougie meth.
Yeah. Oh my god. So yeah, Dr. Jacobson eventually, like we were saying, becomes known as Mrs. Dunn. That's the code name for him because he's around so much, and the Kennedys always calling on him. The Kennedys are always calling on them, like both JFK and Jackie, and they're like they've like I said, declassified like a ton of information about the Kennedy White House over the years, and there's like record logs of him visiting over 30 times in 1961 and 1962.
That's crazy. I'm gonna assume it was 30 times each year and not 30 times in 2 years, because I feel like
I agree.
There was a lot going on, and that he became like a resident doctor to the White House. Yeah, like on the DL.
He was like on call constantly.
Yeah, and I think what one of the cool things was, not cool, I mean it's crazy, but I'm sure why so many celebrities went to him is he was like super fucking discreet.
Yeah.
Because he didn't keep like, he kept records of like seeing his patients, but after JFK died, he destroyed all of the records of what he was treating him with. Mm-hmm. So like no one would ever know what was in it. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. At one point, the Secret Service and Bobby Kennedy were like very suspicious of Dr. Jacobson, and I think they tried to get like a vial, like leftover that JFK had used to be injected with, and I think they like sent it in to like be like analyzed, but there wasn't enough to do a proper analysis of what was in it. But it like they were just like very worried. They were like, we don't know what's in this, and JFK famously said, "I don't care if it's horse piss. It's the only thing that works."
JFK, so crude.
Ugh. No.
I don't care if it's dick pus.
It works.
It works. This shit makes me feel good.
Yeah. So yeah, this was just an insane time. And I mean, not only JFK, but like many, many other really famous people that everybody, like icons, know, like that we know about, did things that might have affected history, I think. Mm-hmm. So like, for example, allegedly the night in May 1962 when Marilyn Monroe famously sang Happy Birthday to the president at Madison Square Garden, she was high as fuck.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. She was like, she was injected like right in the neck with
Oh my God.
Jacobson's shit. Yeah, and she was like ready to roll because she had like stage fright or something.
Oh.
That's the story.
Oh my God. Well, she was
And
high
then,
as fuck a lot, right?
well, and that's the thing. So I don't know. I think because like these people got like a lot of this kind of reassurance from an actual doctor.
Yeah.
They probably felt that it was like not bad, and they were like, I'm feeling great. But also what happens with especially meth is you have a really, really, really bad come down. Like really, really bad. Your body just gets exhausted. So when the drug finally leaves it, you're just like, I can't function. I need to have more.
Oh my God.
So I think honestly a lot of these people became addicted to drugs because of the kind of enabling that he did.
Yeah.
And because he was a doctor and he was like, it's okay.
Well, and that's the problem with a lot of prescription drugs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people think that just because a doctor is prescribing it, that it's safe and it's okay, but
Yep.
you have to really trust your doctor and work closely with them and get second opinions or whatever. You know, like there's just stuff you have to be careful about.
Well, now look at the problem that we're in.
What?
With opioids.
Oh, yeah.
That's because of doctors overprescribing medications that are highly addictive, and like people can't get off of them, and then they aren't prescribed them anymore, and then they turn to heroin.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy because people, especially after you have a surgery or something, and they send you home with, a bottle of Vicodin or Percocet or whatever, and it's like, oh, the label says could be addictive, maybe just take half a pill, but it's like, well, you're not monitoring that. I don't know, like, it's just crazy.
Well, that's the thing. When I came home from surgery, I had a small bottle of Oxy. I didn't even finish it all. But I luckily don't have a super addictive, personality, or I guess, it's not in my
medical
DNA.
Medical makeup. Yeah.
Yeah. But you do deserve to have relief from pain if you have had surgery. You shouldn't be in pain.
Yeah.
But you should be able to be responsibly weaned off of it.
Yeah.
This was not happening in the 50s and 60s and 70s.
They didn't know these things.
Nobody knew these things. So just going back to all the people that possibly changed history with this fucking shit.
Yeah.
Mickey Mantle was another very famous patient. He was in a lot of pain at the time that he was in 1961 when he was trying to break Babe Ruth's single season home run record of 60 home runs. Mm-hmm. So he and Roger Maris were tied, they were going back and forth, and it was this huge deal. And so he had Dr. Jacobson shoot him up in his hip, but the injection somehow caused a really bad infection, and he we don't know if it was because of a dirty needle or if it hit the bone. Either way, he missed the last few days of the season, and Roger Maris became baseball's home run king that year.
Oh.
Yeah. Also,
that sucks.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think he also missed out on the World Series too.
Oh.
Truman Capote died of liver failure and a massive amount of drugs in his system.
Yeah.
And I wonder if his injections from Jacobson contributed to his massive drug habit.
I'm sure.
Because he was a huge fan. And I think anybody who's a writer who needs to be inspired, they will do anything to stay up and get through their writer's block, whatever. Capote said that getting an injection from him was, quote, instant euphoria, and that you feel like Superman. You're flying. Ideas come at the speed of light. And then he would describe the crash from the high as falling down a well.
Oh my God.
So he was already a kind of I think he had a depressive personality too.
Yeah.
So when you're prescribed, quote unquote, these things that that are one size fits all, you don't know what people are doing. On top of all this.
And he didn't know the long-term effects. Dr. Jacobson didn't. And it's it's really bad for your heart. A lot of the people that were mentioned earlier had long-time health issues after this, or died, like Judy Garland. Her heart like fucking, she did so much drugs, and I think she died from barbiturates, maybe like an overdose, but I mean, none of this shit helps.
Well, you have to take barbiturates to like calm down from
Oh, so it was like a
being
double.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
like you need to like medically induce your body's natural like ebb and flow
Yeah,
of
it's like,
energy and then like going
oh.
back down when you need to go to sleep or whatever.
Ay, ay, ay.
The writer Rod Sterling, who people say was also high on Jacobson's meth, is the one who wrote The Twilight Zone, and we wouldn't have The Twilight Zone if it wasn't for the meth.
That's crazy. And that's bad, but I mean,
yeah,
if we didn't have the Twilight Zone, that'd be shitty because it's so
we
good.
wouldn't have Black Mirror.
We would not have Black Mirror because that's like the current day Twilight Zone.
That's right. And then he also administered increasingly large injections to Tennessee Williams to combat his crippling depression. To counter the amphetamines, he also gave Williams Seconal to overcome insomnia, which is like what we were just talking about with Judy Garland, which is what I think probably contributed to her death. And the Seconal abuse for Tennessee Williams is what caused him to die. And then 1969, one of Jacobson's clients, the former presidential photographer who got JFK into all this in the first place, photographer Mark Shaw, died at the age of 47. And an autopsy showed that he had died of acute chronic intravenous amphetamine poisoning.
Yikes.
So
it's interesting, like, none of this, it's interesting because this is like a moment in time and it's like really high profile people, but this shit still happens. Like,
oh yeah,
tons of, especially celebrities like fucking Tom Petty.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson, yeah, but even Tom Petty just died of an overdose. And it's like, it's crazy that, people
Prince.
Prince. People enable people who are famous because they want to be like in the inner circle. I feel like this doctor was probably like kind of one of those dudes who like really enjoyed, I mean, he probably thought he was helping people maybe to some degree, but it's like enjoyed the high profile life and getting flown in, private jets to go see the president in Miami and shit like that. It's like,
oh my God, he was like on the set of the 10 Commandments because of what's his name? Fisher.
Oh.
Bobby Fischer.
Yeah.
Like had him in his like entourage.
That's crazy. Yeah, just think of like what a glamorous lifestyle you're living, and I mean, even in the example you had when he went to that summit, and it's like, oh, I shouldn't give you another one, but it's like, okay.
Yeah, that's like one of the most like important summits of the 20th century.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
God, I can't believe people are doctors and nurses and stuff. It is crazy to me. I don't ever want to be responsible for like someone's life.
Well, it should hearten people to know that he did lose his license.
Oh, true. In 1969?
No, his medical he finally got caught after Mark Shaw died. He was under questioning. The staff that worked for Dr. Jacobson admitted to buying large quantities of amphetamines to give to lots of people and give high-level doses. So the Bureau of Narcotics and Dangerous Drugs at the time seized Jacobson's supply, and his medical license was revoked on April 25th, 1975 by the New York State Board of Regents.
Oh, wow.
So he did try to get it back in 1979, but they were like, no.
And then he died that year.
Yeah. He fucked up.
Yeah. I think I read something too. I don't remember when it was, but I think it was when the board was like reviewing him and like gonna potentially take away his license, that Jackie O went and visited him and was like, don't fucking say anything. And he's like, no, I won't. Like, I've destroyed a bunch of records. Even though he still had some that eventually got out. Or, people were able to piece it together, but like, she went and was like, don't say anything.
You gotta preserve Camelot.
Yeah.
So sad.
Sad, yeah.
I mean, I'm willing to bet that this is maybe a shitty thing to say, but if JFK wasn't assassinated, he probably would have died very young from all of his cumulative like
injury,
health problems
/ health problems. Yeah.
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 Which is so sad to think about, actually. I mean, who knows? Like, who knows how long he would have lived?
Yeah.
I don't think for very long. Like, he was so sick.
Yeah.
This poor man. This poor man.
And then just people aren't saying no to you, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's never for your own good.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah, don't
especially
do
meth.
Meth is bad.
I mean, if you think you'd be in good company with some of the people that we just talked about, you wouldn't be. Because they're all dead now, I'm pretty sure.
I think so, yeah. Mostly all dead.
And a lot of them died prematurely because they did meth.
Yeah. Or just, like, did not have a good, like...
Later life,
yeah. Were, like, really ridden by health issues and... I mean, even, like, I don't know how old Elizabeth Taylor was when she died, but she was, like, not having a good time the last, like, 10 years
She was, like, in her
life.
80s.
But she was, like, not very mobile, and
no.
I don't think she was very with it.
No.
For a while.
Everything in moderation, kids.
Yeah.
Or just not at all, you know? Even things that we think are benign, like alcohol in our culture.
Yeah.
That shit could fuck you up. So just be careful. Well, do whatever you want. Just take care of yourselves.
We're not your parents, but you're adults, so figure it out.
Yeah.
Just be excellent.
Be excellent. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we are excited to see some of you.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Oh my
God. Or today, if you're listening to this a day late, or we were excited and we saw you if you listen to this after.
That's right.
Yeah.
So be excellent to each other. Follow us on social medias.
Mm-hmm. At DTFU Podcast everywhere. Check out the Patreon at DTFU Podcast. Check out DTFUpodcast.com. You'll find so many fun things you didn't even know existed.
We got a lot of content out there.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. Enjoy your life and everything in moderation.
Yes.
Don't do meth.
Don't do meth.
Don't do meth, kids. Drugs are bad.
Drugs are bad, and that is not alleged.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.